Hello, Lood. So you've been back since, I think, January, you started playing again. How are you feeling? Have you still got any health issues at all? Is there something different you've got to do now in your life? How has it been for you?
Yeah, I think firstly it's good to be back. I started playing in February. I was out for 9 months. And I think obviously for me, it's just looking after the body. All of us are getting a bit older, so recovery, and especially with the shoulder stuff, pre-ab, keeping the shoulders healthy. It's a big priority for me in the gym, especially. But it's been going well. Body's feeling good. It's been a good week and a half, tough week and a half. It's been great preparation heading into the test season.
There's obviously, during the season, there's probably the talks going to start coming up about a lot of the guys that have come through this journey together in this team, through the 2 World Cups, etc. And they might be starting to sort of taper out and go towards an end. You missed the whole season now, basically, and you've been on the other side and seen what it's like. And players often talk about what it's being on the outside and how they miss it. Just maybe talk to us about how it was for you, and then how you handled the whole year out and kept yourself motivated to get back.
Yeah, I think it is tough, I think luckily when you've got family and kids, they keep you busy enough so you don't overthink everything. But I think for me the big thing was when I felt I could still contribute. If I can get myself healthy and I can get the body ready, I feel I could still add value. So that was my big motivation, through the rehab process and working hard to get myself as fit as possible, to hopefully get back into the mix. And so it's just great to be here again.
Do you think playing in Japan helped that process maybe a bit more than if you were here in South Africa with some of these physical derbies?
Yeah, I think it's not just that. I think in Japan the schedule, there's a little bit of more downtime, and you can use that downtime for recovery, prehab, whatever you want. We've got a lot more bye weeks, a bit more rest over there. So for me, especially just when I got started in February, building into the season, I had a lot of extra time to get the body ready and for the back end of the season, and obviously heading into the international. So it definitely helps playing over there, I reckon.
Lood, Andre and I've been watching your games, analysing it a bit. You've been playing exceptionally well. I wanted to talk to you about the standard in Japan compared to South Africa. There's often talk about it. You said more downtime and the like, but the standard of the rugby there, is it a step up for you coming back to the Springboks, or is the standard there now rising enough or good enough to be almost on the level with what's happening in South Africa?
No, listen, everything, the Springboks is a step up to anything. Doesn't matter if you play URC, if you play in France, Premiership, even Champions Cup. International rugby is a whole different beast. But I must say the standard in Japan has definitely picked up. There's a lot of world-class coaches over there, obviously world-class players. It's a different type of rugby. I think it's a bit more of a running game and a bit of more expansive game. But I think that also, helped me develop. It's a complete different style to what I had here with the Bulls and the Cheetahs, and then when I went to Sale. I've really enjoyed it. Nothing compares to Test rugby and the intensity and physicality of that.
Talking about developing skills, I saw you had developed a bit of a chicken wing.
I just watched a bit of RG's clips there at Leinster. Got a bit of inspiration. Like I said, it's a bit more of an expansive game, and especially at our club, they want to keep the ball alive, keep the ball in place. So they encourage us to try and look for the offloads and stuff like that. But I'll get a few more tips of RG hopefully in the next couple of weeks, because definitely listen, man. In today's game, if you can keep the ball alive, keep the ball dynamic, it puts defenses under pressure.
Rob?
How easy has it been to slot back in with Boks? Evan mentioned earlier how yourself are here, and Franco and him are back together for the first time since 2019 as a group. And last year there was a bit of a lock cross at Boks. This year you guys have got 4 veterans in the mix, and you've got guys like Salman and Ron coming through. So is the competition really high, and has it been easy to slot back in?
Well, the easy parts have just been being with good friends again, seeing them again, being able to to train with them, spend day to day in camp with them. It's great seeing all the guys again and talking about old stories and all that. I think there's a lot of depth at lock at the moment. I think Ruan last year, where there was a bit of an injury crisis, he did a great job, especially those 2 games against the All Blacks. He really put up his hand and showed what he could do at international level. So I reckon it's the great thing is it's competitive. It's really competitive, but it's good competition. There's good spirits between the boys, but we really push each other to get the best out of each other. And it'll be great to see how things end up going into the test season.
But obviously, just looking back to the Bulls days when we were still playing together, and obviously we moved on, and you moved to Sale, and then obviously to Japan. You had a lot of injuries and setbacks in your career, but do you think the playing style and the difference you experiencing from South Africa to the UK, then obviously UK to Japan, do you think that's prolonged your career, prolonged your kind of financial stability for the future? I know we asked you a bit about it earlier in the previous press conference, and your career is only so long. So do you think you're happy with the decisions that you made to go to Japan and now having a great opportunity again to come and represent the Springboks?
Yeah, Ronaldo, I think obviously, there's a lot of factors that come into it. One is financially, the other one is your family has to be happy, especially wife and kids. When you're not happy off field, it really translates to on the field. So I think for me, I'm happy with the decisions I made. I always wanted to experience playing in Europe. Playing Champions Cup, playing Premiership, testing myself against the best over there, and obviously before that in Super Rugby over here, you got to play against the best of Argentina, New Zealand, and Australia, and then Japan, another something that you always wonder how it is over there, and I'm really enjoying it over there, and like I mentioned earlier, you get to develop different parts of your game around the world. Rugby's played differently. Everybody thinks a bit differently about the game, and I think if you can take the best out of all of that, put it together, it really helps you to be a more complete player.
Any other questions?
But having been out for so long, I'm sure there's some really big away games this year, and I'm sure there's maybe a game that you really hope to be involved in. Which one do you think would be the game that you really hope to play in this year that you're sort of targeting?
The next one. No, I just reckon. Listen, I think Rassie has got a great plan for the year, and we'll see how that pans out. Obviously, you want to be involved in every test match is a big game, but obviously, we've got a few big games this year coming up against, especially New Zealand away twice, and then France and Ireland. But listen, you can't look past any test match, any game. Even, we're playing the Barbarians. We don't quite know what to expect from them. They've got a world-class team they're putting together. So that's our first hurdle, and we're just focusing on that on the moment. So I'm honestly not thinking too far ahead. I'm just, if I'm involved in the Barbarians, you just want to, give the best the next test you have. You can't look past. We've got Italy twice. We've got Georgia. It's test match rugby, and you need to be at your best every single game if you get the opportunity.
Again, with other tourists, he coached you at Baka. And he said it was clear you made a call in your head when you realized that you can actually become a Springbok or something. Now that's a bit of a left field question, but
yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. When you're young, you think you're very clever. So I was about 20 years old, and I just thought, it looks like I got a chance here to maybe be a professional rugby player. I won't give this advice to any youngster out there, so please don't follow this directly, but I just decided I'm going to give rugby a full crack. Stopped my studies. I was still had a course to do, but I just stopped and just focused on, putting everything into my rugby career. And luckily it panned out. It could have gone the other way, and I don't know what I would be doing now. But it was just at one stage, you get to a place like the Pika, and you start playing against some of the best guys in your age groups, and then just suddenly you start to get a bit of confidence, and you start to feel like, listen, maybe this is something I can do for a job, and that's when I decided to give it a full crack. Yeah.
And you missed Pretoria.
Pretoria was good. Living in Bloemfontein, they say you only cry twice in Bloemfontein: the day you arrive and the day you leave. So I really enjoyed Bloem, and I was wondering about Pretoria. I know it's a bigger city and how it's going to be, but I loved my time at the Bulls. It was incredible. But like I said, Japan now for me is just personally with my family life and everything. I'm very happy there. I've got 2 more years. Signed up for 2 more years, so no, it's a place I want to be now.
Any Afrikaans questions before we wrap up?
Ja,
Wat dink jy van die bulle seisoen as ek weer 'n left field question mag vra?
van die bulle seisoen.
Seisoen.
Ja, eerlikwaar, dis moeilik met die Japaneese tye. Mens kan nie eintlik die games kyk nie. Ek kan sê ek het dalk 'n handjie vol games van hulle gekyk. Ek dink hulle seisoen was great. Ek dink hulle het hulle laaste 6 of 7 in 'n ry gewen. Leinster gaan wegspeel in Ierland. Nie 'n goeie start gehad nie, wat kan gebeur teen enige iemand, en dan moet jy in die reëne game chase teen 'n span wat jy weet ongelooflike goeie verdediging het en wêreldklas spelers. So ek dink jy mens met die bulle se hele seisoen net judge op die finaal nie. Dit was soos een van daai dae wat dinge nie jou kant toe gaan nie, en die ander span is op hulle beste, en as Leinster op hulle beste is al baie min spanne in klub rugby wat hulle gaan wen.
Dit net vinnig om vir die publiek al buite en ook vir die media net 'n bietjie perspektief te gee wat die groot verskille vir jou as 'n speler is as jy in 'n URC of in 'n super rugby span of 'n environment speel, compare teenoor as jy nou in Japan gaan speel, soos jy sê, beter familielewe, net om 'n bietjie konteks te stel hoekom so baie spelers daai besluit neem om oorsette van rugby speel, veral Japan.
Ja, ek dink dit gaan oor waar jy is in jou loopbaan, en soos ek sê, in jou persoonlike lewe met jou familie en goed. Ek dink die URC is 'n great kompetisie, selfs met super rugby toe dit nogal was. Jy weet jy's jonk en jy wil 'n naam maak vir jouself, en ek dink dis die beste, jy weet, in die URC is waar jy die beste naam kan maak vir jouself as 'n youngster wat deurkom, en jy sien hoeveel ouens wat nou in die URC gespeel het, jong ouens wat nou hulle geleentheid gekry het hier om in hierdie toetsreeks hoop hulle kans te kry om te speel. Vir my was dit net 'n persoonlike besluit van, kom 'n tyd wat jy iets anders wil ervaar, en ja, soos ek sê, daar's baie faktore wat 'n rol speel. So vir my nou is Japan die beste, maar ek dink ja, as 'n youngster dink ek is die URC is 'n great kompetisie om vir jouself naam te maak, en jy weet om gekies te word vir die bokke, en dan hopelik jy weet vir by die bokke vir jouself 'n reputasie op te bou om dan as jy wou later aan te skuif as jy wou.
Laaste netjie.
Jy het gepraat jy het nog 2 jaar oor in Japan. Sal jy oorweeg om weer in Suid-Afrika om rugby speel?
Ja, dit is so moeilik. Rugby, alles sê 'n week in rugby is 'n lang tyd. So 2 jaar tyd weet ons nie hoe dit lyk nie. Ek sal nooit dit, jy weet, ek het dit soos ek sê by die Cheetahs ek het baie geniet, by die bulle dieselfde. So mense never say never sê hulle. So ons sal sien wat gebeur na 2 jaar, maar ek sal op 'n oop kop hou. Mense weet nooit, dalk moet ek aftree, dalk kom ek terug hiernatoe, dalk skryf mense ergens anders, maar ja, ek sal definitief my opsies oop hou en kyk hoe mense in daai tyd voel. Dit 2 jaar is nog ver weg.
Okay.
Coach.
Happy?